How about testosterone for your skin, for your glow? If you look at facial aging, the curve is painfully predictable. In your 30s, you start to notice heaviness, no wrinkles, but the fat is shifting. In your 40s and 50s, the face doesn't just wrinkle, it starts to look pulled down. And most people assume that that slide is normal and permanent, but then you always see something, an outlier. That dot right here on this graph, right here, the person who looks more lifted, more awake, more snatched without a facelift. How did they do that? How did they become an outlier? It may well be genetics sometimes. Way more commonly, what I see in my clients, it's a handful of tiny habits done consistently over time, like sleep, strength training, protein, stress control, and in many, yes, hormones done correctly. The hormone everyone's whispering about now, it's called testosterone. I'm sure you probably know somebody on it. Comment below if so. The big promise, the one that pulls you in, tighter skin and a younger face. Now, the top reason women actually seek testosterone in normal life, not in our skincare routine life on this channel, but in normal life, is depressed mood, irritability, decreased sex drive, inability to build muscle mass, decreased energy levels and fatigue, or even, yes, thinning of the hair, that hairline. So your time's valuable. Here's the spoiler alert. Does testosterone make you look younger? The answer, yes, but not in the way most people think. I'm covering it all today. Creams, pellets, and patches, and yes, in a cream, a face cream like estrogen cream that we often talk about that's put on the face. That's the simplest way for most people to think about it. A cream, a testosterone cream for the face that maybe doesn't go to the body. I'll also go through what to watch for so you don't accidentally masculinize yourself chasing a skin glow. What do I mean by that? The voice getting deeper, new coarse facial hair, chin or the upper lip is a common area. When it happens, scalp hair thinning, think male pattern loss. That can occur with the wrong dose, but not with the right cream. First off, what is testosterone? And do women normally even have it? Yes, women make testosterone in the ovaries and the adrenal glands. It's not just a male hormone. In fact, many times women have relatively a higher testosterone than men. It plays roles in muscle, bone, mood, and energy signal. And here it is. It also converts to estradiol in tissues through what we call aromatization. Think face fat. Remember we talked about estrogen in the face making you look younger? Well, testosterone converts. And that matters because estrogen is strongly tied to skin collagen and dermal thickness. This graph right here. My clients are shocked actually to learn that everything peaks around 30. And here is the collagen in green, the estrogen in red, and yes, the pink is the testosterone curve. Now know this. In the United States, there is no FDA-approved testosterone product designed specifically for women. That's why dosing and delivery gets real messy fast, meaning confused, opinionated from influencers especially, but even amongst doctors and providers. Studied evidence, well, it's limited. Clinical practice, meaning seeing real patients in real life, we actually know a lot. And actually, that's why you follow real doctors on your social media. In real practice, seeing real patients and sharing what they learn in faces and seeing in outcomes. If you like that, subscribe and click the like button. Now, the best studies that we have, well, they support testosterone for very narrow medical uses, not as a proven facial tightening treatment. Narrow uses, things like libido function. Now, there is a classic paper showing a higher collagen content in skin biopsies, we like that, where they take pieces of skin, postmenopausal women treated long-term with what? Estrogen plus testosterone. And yes, they were implants, compared with untreated controls. We'll look at this first to see does it work systemically and then go on to the topical only cream. You can see here from the study, skin biopsy specimens were taken from 29 postmenopausal women who had not been given any hormone replacement therapy, and then from 26 women who were. They were treated with estrogen and then implantable testosterone, like pellets, for 2 to 10 years, and that's key. There's your duration of treatment. The mean hydroxyproline content, and therefore the mean collagen content in the skin, and you'll know hydroxyproline because it's in great collagen peptide powders. It's essentially a modified amino acid, and it's a major building block of collagen. And through biopsy was found to be 48% greater in the treated than the untreated women, and they were matched for age. That's real data. The study was observational, not testosterone only. We would have liked that. And it doesn't prove visible tightening of the face, but it is a data point. This from the study. The implication of this finding is that estrogen or testosterone, or even both, you can't say from that study, prevents the decrease in skin collagen content that occurs with aging. So it stops it from decreasing, and it protects the skin in the same ways it protects bone in postmenopausal women. That was a huge statement from that study. Now, what you're all here for, I believe, you're going to ask, why not just apply a cream to the face only, to the skin, a topical testosterone cream for the face? This is the part people love to ask because it sounds like a loophole. Put it on the face, get the skin benefits, and none of the systemic potential effects. And they're also inexpensive, I must say. The compounded testosterone creams that we're going to talk about, they're not expensive. And of course, we love inexpensive. The thing is, when people talk about testosterone gels, they're often lumping very different things together. And that's where the confusion begins. Modern prescription gels are like androgel, that's pure testosterone gel, and that gets absorbed through the skin systemically for hormone replacement, explicitly engineered for systemic testosterone replacement by way of transdermal delivery through the skin into the body. Now, there's a little hack here, a type of testosterone that has a very short half-life, so it doesn't absorb systemically through the body, and that's called testosterone propionate. Here you can see it. It's short-acting. So what about a study on this? There was a trial in the 1960s, mid-60s, I think. They used testosterone propionate on the skin, including the face, and that's why you still see this come up often, is that study being quoted to say, hey, did it work? What happened? And how come it wasn't studied thereafter? It was actually quite scientifically interesting for its time. It wasn't cosmetic grade by today's standards, but in some ways it was better because they actually did biopsies. We love that. Hard to get biopsies off people today because you're taking chunks of skin. And it was sizable in that the numbers were big. A lot of times today, even with filler studies, they look at 100 people and they look at them for 6 months or a year. That's almost nothing. This study went out many years. Now here is the study, and I'll link it in the more info section below the video if you want to see it. It's kind of cool. It's old, you can see from the typing here, but also here's a picture from the study. You can see, you get a better idea from the downloaded PDF if you do that, but they're not up to today's standards. But they did over 1,500 biopsy specimens, and they used an elderly population in what they call an aged care setting. The median age was 65 years of age. The range was 57 to 88 years old. And with regards to testosterone, again, it's important to note, it's propionate that they used. The exact type, you might wonder, 1% compounded into a hydrophilic ointment. Of note, it was an ointment-based or alcoholic solution. And one of the key takeaways you'll see inside the study is it took about 6 months before the effects became apparent. The summary of findings: number 1, some fine lines looked smoother. There was good effect. Number 2, some sagging did look improved. That's always great. And number 3, the visible changes were described overall as modest. Really not bad. Pretty good. Now, do I like it? I personally think it's very interesting, and I consider it for some of my patients And yes, overall, I think it's something worth trying for a lot of people. If you deep dive in the study from the 60s, it showed some mixed effects alongside some androgen type of skin changes. The skin did show some nice anti-aging improvement, but remember, everything has a potential for side effects. And in this case, what do some people see? Oily skin, acne, and hair growth where they don't want it, like the face. But I think it's worthy of note that most people using it in real life, they don't complain of face hair growth or of excess acne unless they're already acne prone to begin with. You'll see some people say, just like with face oils like castor oil, oh, my face hair grew. But often there's confounding variables and it was growing from other hormonal changes. Now this is important. Remember, the type does matter. Testosterone propionate is the short-acting one. You don't want the androgel types because they can even rub off on other people. They're highly absorptive to the body. And as you may think, you're now asking, hair growth. I want some hair growth in some areas. Yep, they're being used for hair growth on brows and even lashes. As the thicker brow trend is back in, you'll see people use it for that. The thing is, testosterone doesn't affect those hairs, the brows and the lashes, the same as on the face. Vellus hair, that's facial hair, is more likely to become visible when androgen signaling arises because it's lighter hair, it's not usually colored, but then it turns color. Eyebrows are mostly what we call terminal hair already. So sometimes they don't show the response that people expect. But there are reports of people who like it for brows especially. So people that are getting systemic absorption, they don't come and say, oh, my brows are growing, doc. They come and say, oh, I'm getting some facial hair. Because again, that's much more noticeable and sensitive to the androgenic effects. And you need to keep this in mind. Looking better with testosterone creams, it's not something you're going to see results in minutes. Think months, like tretinoin. Now, I'm sure some of you are worried a little bit about the systemic absorption, and that's going to depend on several factors, real-world variables you need to consider. Concentration, the total dose applied, the vehicle, so how it's compounded will affect penetration, like is it a simple cream, is it an ointment, the surface area used, how big the face area is, or how big of an area on the face you use it, a tiny spot versus the whole face, and occlusiveness. So if you put something over it like saran wrap, you're going to get more absorption. Now, how would you get these? Made up from local compounding pharmacies. We talked about compounding pharmacies before in our estrogen replacement videos. There is not one pre-made on the shelf for the skin purpose. And a lot of times women repurpose the vaginal estrogen to put it on the face. We don't have that in this case. So if you choose that compounded route for a testosterone cream, keep in mind your safety rules. Don't apply it after derma rolling or microneedling. Don't combine with a strong penetrating enhancer. Don't spread it over large surface areas without having measured levels in the body. And if you're already oily, acne prone, or you have facial hair, you want to really monitor that and consider whether this is something for you. Now, what are the ways that women overall supplement with testosterone? Systemically, pellets, patches, and creams. Pellets, they're great. They're one of the most popular for my patients, but one reason is the convenience of it, because you put the pellets in, you get a little area where it was placed, that wound has to heal up. The problem becomes if you're not happy with that level, it's in there. It's not as adjustable as, say, a cream or a patch. So if the dose is too high, you can't quickly dial it down. Think of pellets like getting your hair dyed. If you don't like the color, you're just going to have to wait it out. Other than pellets, you're looking at creams or gels or patches. So this is the most adjustable way, is the creams and the gels. Now, your actionable item for today. What should a woman do if she's considering testosterone and cares about skin first? Decide your real goal. If your goal is facial tightening, testosterone should not be your primary strategy. First, use proven fundamentals. UV protection, smart retinoid strategy. Make sure your diet is good. You got enough protein. Resistance training, absolutely key. And finally, procedures in a clinic where appropriate. Yes, I like testosterone cream. Get a compounded, it's inexpensive. it can work well. Testosterone cream can then be a part of your big picture. And finally, if you need to step up to procedures, even a couple procedures to get you where you need to be, that's when you think about in-clinic devices and treatments. Fillers, lasers, biostimulators. But you always want to optimize your home game first. You'll now want to watch this video to see exactly how red light can fit into your skincare routine and work with creams like this. Stay tuned here to keep your skin and body beautiful, healthy, and vibrant.